Yo, 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 it's your boy Bess, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 2, episode 11. On today's episode, I will be doing my best 5 plays from week 8, followed by my week 8 dogs, and then I will talk about 2 headlines in the NFL right now. Chase Young was traded to the San Francisco 49ers, and then Josh McDaniels, head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, just got fired. And I'm in this episode with the Thursday Night Football preview between the Titans and my Pittsburgh Steelers. But as always, I want to thank God for waking me up this morning, allowing me to talk about sports, but it's something that I love to do. And without him, I would not be here right now. So let's go ahead and let's get straight to the point. Today's episode is going to be very, very quick. Got a lot of things on my plate, but I wanted to make sure that I get this out to y'all and talk about give y'all the best 5 plays, of course, the week 8 dogs, and then 2 headlines that are happening right now that's really pretty big deals in the NFL right now. But the NBA, all right, the NBA has started. I understand that. I mentioned it after opening night. I talked about it a little bit. Talked about Anthony Davis, but I'm going to do my NBA episode next week. Next week, I'm gonna talk about who I got for MVP and who I got going to the finals and everything. These are not picks that I made like as the season is going. I already made these are set in stone, so don't think that I'm cheating or nothing like that. But I haven't really been focused on it because the NFL is more important right now, right? The NFL is already at midseason. The trade deadline is already done. So we're going down this back stretch and heading into the playoffs. So I feel like the NFL is a priority right now. So the NBA is kind of pushed to the side, but I will do an episode for the NBA next week. All right, but let's go ahead and let's do my best 5 plays from week 8. Honorable mention got to go to Josh Metellus, defensive back for the Minnesota Vikings, who got this interception. Not only did he catch the interception, but he snatched it from the receiver of Jaron Reed from the Green Bay Packers. This is the definition of, look, that's my ball. I want it. I'm going to make this play. And he did that. So that's an honorable mention for the week, Josh Metellus, who I probably won't hear his name ever again, right? So I'm going to go ahead and give him his flowers while I can, all right? Number 5, A.J. Brown. Y'all, this receiver, he is going crazy this year. I think he's had a 6-game stretch with 125 receiving yards in each game. And this play right here is an example of what he's been doing over the past couple of weeks. Jalen Hurts just throwing the ball, and he's going to get, no matter who's over there, no matter how many people is in coverage, he's going to snag the ball. Period. This is almost double coverage, and he went up and grabbed his ball and got into the end zone. So great job, A.J. Brown. Number 4, Breece Hall. Watch this first move that he made. He literally shifted that defensive player, and then he took it to the crib. I mean, Breece Hall, the big playability was there last year before he got hurt. And now he came back this year, kind of started off the season a little slow, getting back from that torn ACL. And now he is making big plays like he did last year and like he did in college. So the Jets have a star at running back who's capable of taking a nice little 5-yard dump pass all the way to the house for 40 or 30 yards, however long it was. So great job, Breece Hall. Number 3, Bryce Young. All right, Bryce Young. I haven't really seen that first overall pick caliber play this year, and I think this was one of them. He was able to escape pressure, evade it, get out, and get the ball to his number 1 target, Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen also made a great catch, so both of them qualified for this number 3 play on the best 5 plays. Bryce Young, just keep making plays like this. We know you're not going to win games. We know your team is not good enough. All right, we know that you don't have enough weapons outside of Adam Thielen. You know the O-line's pretty bad. Just keep making plays, stay the course. The team is going to get better over the next couple of years, but right now just show that you are the starting quarterback for the Panthers. Great job, Bryce Young. Number 2, Cortland Sutton. This was almost number 1, but you'll see why it's not number 1. But Cortland Sutton, this was a Randy Moss kind of play. He literally mossed the DB. This is what people expected from Cortland Sutton over the past couple of years. He got a big frame. He's pretty tall. He's a nice target for quarterbacks to throw to. And Russell Wilson just gave him a chance, and he went and made a play. All right, so on L'Jarius Sneed, you just got mossed, my friend. But Cortland Sutton, great play, great job. And there was a flag on the play as well for pass interference. So even through all that, he still went up and made the grab. He's helping Russell Wilson out. And plays like this was why they was able to beat the Kansas City Chiefs last week. And then number 1, this is why Cortland Sutton was not number 1, A.J. Brown. What can he not do? This is the first player this year, probably last year too, that had 2 plays in the best 5 plays. He is on a tear. People love to talk about Tyreek Hill, but I think we need to give A.J. Brown that same respect because A.J. has been just doing things like this throughout the course of the season. But this catch right here is his best catch of the year. It might be one of the best catches of the year. One-handed snag in the end zone. Great ball by Jalen Hurts. Great catch by A.J. Brown. Those are my best 5 plays of the week. And now I want to get to my week 8 dogs. All right, these are the best performances from this past week. I'm going to point out these individual players for what they did. All right, DAWGS, not DOGS. DeAndre Hopkins. All right, 4 catches, 128 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That is like a perfect game. Every time you got the ball, you got yards or you got a touchdown. All right, that's exactly what happened in 4 catches, 128, and 3 touchdowns. And he had a first-time quarterback in Will Levis who came in there and played his very first game of his career, and he was able to make these plays. This is how you know D-Hop is capable of making quarterbacks better, which is why I like the move to go and get D-Hop this past offseason because he can make QBs better. He's one of the receivers that you just throw it up to, right? He's not a guy that really needs a chemistry with the QB. All you got to do is throw it up to him, and he's going to go get it. So great job, D-Hop, week 8. Once again, 4 catches, 128 yards, and 3 touchdowns. But I got to give love to his QB as well, Will Levis, who went 11 for 29, 238 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was also a dog this past week. Once again, thrown into the fire. It's your first game, right? Ryan Tannehill's hurt. They don't like Malik Willis. Go ahead and get Will Levis in there, see what he can do. And, hey, he balled out against the Atlanta defense. It's not too great, but it's not terrible either. So, great job by Will Levis, embracing the moment, going in there, making plays, all right, showing teams that, hey, they got to respect the deep ball because a lot of his passes to D-Hop was deep balls, all right? So, great job, Will Levis. You was a week 8 dog. Another week 8 dog, Sam Howell. All right, I got to give love to Sam Howell. He went 39 for 52, 397 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception against a Eagles team that I'm claiming is going to win a Super Bowl this year, right? So you went against a top dog. He was the underdog, and it was actually a good game. They ended up losing 31-38, but he balled out. He had 1 interception, but the rest of the game was pretty good. All right, so great job by Sam Howell. He's showing that he is that future quarterback for the Washington Commanders. So great job, Sam Howell. Another week 8 dog, CeeDee Lamb. 12 catches on 14 targets, 158 yards, and 2 touchdowns. All right, CeeDee Lamb balled out. Period. Point blank. Nothing I can say about this. Him and Dak is starting to get a connection that is going to help them in the long run. All right, I'm not high on the Cowboys, but one thing I can't deny is that Dak and CeeDee is becoming is starting to get on the same page, which is good for Dallas in general. And 12 catches on 14 targets. That's just consistency. That's all that is. Efficient and consistency, and that's what you need from receivers. Every time I throw you the ball, you're going to catch it. That's basically what happened. 2 times it was incomplete. I don't know if it's a bad ball or if he dropped it, but only 2 incompletions after going that man's way 14 times. That's a great game right there. All right, so great job, CeeDee Lamb. And then the last dog of the week was Jahmyr Gibbs. All right, the Lions drafted a running back top 10. I hated it. I thought it wasn't a need. It was a want. They went ahead and actually it was top 12, I believe. And when they drafted him, I thought it was a dumb move, and they really haven't been using him up until now. David Montgomery, the starting running back, is hurt. So Jahmyr Gibbs got a chance to step up and say, hey, this is why you drafted me. Give me some more touches. Give me some more playing time. He's earned that. 26 carries, 152 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 catches for 37 yards. He was used and abused that game. 26 carries. That's like Christian McCaffrey numbers, right? But he made every carry worth it by getting 152 and also getting in the end zone. So great job, Jahmyr Gibbs. And those was my week 8 dogs for this past week. But now let's go ahead and get into the 2 headlines I want to talk about real quick today. Chase Young to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the 49ers have been on a 3-game losing streak. And a lot of people think that's a bad thing. Well, I think it was a good thing. I'm going to tell you why. I'm not going crazy. I got a reason why it was a good thing. Maybe if they would have won these past 3 games, they wouldn't have made this trade. Just maybe, right? You got to think about that. If you go, a team that wins games don't really look at what they're missing, right? It takes losses to look at that. That's why people say you learn more from a loss than you do from a win. Over these past 3 weeks, I think they're realizing that they can't get to the quarterback. Nick Bosa had that holdout preseason, and it's showing, okay? He really hasn't got his legs under him. He's not the Nick Bosa of old. The Nick Bosa they just paid, the Nick Bosa that just got a Defensive Player of the Year. So you go and you add Chase Young to an already stacked D-line, but it just wasn't getting pressure. All right, so now you add Chase Young that's going to either it's going to help Nick Bosa or it's really going to help Chase Young because maybe he'll take some of the attention from Nick Bosa and trying to stop Chase Young. But if they go ahead and double team Nick Bosa like they're doing now, I'm pretty sure, then teams are going to leave Chase Young one-on-one with the opposite side tackle. And guess what? Chase Young, I think, can eat that matchup alive. Of course, depending on who the tackle is. But I think Chase Young can go ahead and add a playmaker to this. He adds a playmaker to this defense outside of Fran Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave. Right now, they have another playmaker in Chase Young. Now, people are thinking Chase Young, right? He hasn't lived up to the hype. He was the number 2 overall pick in his draft class, but he hasn't lived up to that hype. I agree, he has not. But this year, right? Remember the first year he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. The second year he got hurt. This past year he played like 3 games because he was still hurt technically and torn ACL or whatever. He had a catastrophic injury. I think it was an ACL injury. And now this year he's finally back playing full time. And in QB pressures, he is top 5. All right, behind Nick Bosa, who is number 4. Right, Nick Bosa's getting pressure. He's just not getting sacks like he normally does. But Chase Young, 40 pressures this year, top 5 in the league. You put both of those players on the same team, they're going to wreak havoc on opposing teams' quarterbacks. So I think this move was a great move for the 49ers. Now, I've heard people say that Steve Wilks is not allowing his defensive linemen to get good pass rushing lanes to get to the quarterback. Like his scheme is kind of messing with their ability to get to the quarterback. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I got to go ahead and agree with it to a certain extent because you look at Robert Saleh, head coach for the Jets, right? He was a defensive coordinator at the 49ers. 49ers defense was elite. Then you look at DeMeco Ryans after Robert Saleh. DeMeco Ryans, 49ers defense was elite. Now he's a head coach at the Texans. Steve Wilks come over, and now we're questioning the defense. You see what I'm saying? It's the same players that Saleh and DeMeco Ryans had. But now that he comes over here, we're starting to question the defense, and the defense is not getting sacks like it normally did once upon a time. So you got to point the finger at him to a certain extent. I heard Kyle Shanahan is starting to go to defensive meetings to kind of help out and see what's going on because at the end of the day, a lot of people are blaming Brock Purdy for this 3-game stretch where they've been losing. But I blame the defense because the defense has not been the defense that we saw the first 5 weeks or defense that we've seen the past couple of years. They just haven't. I watched Kirk Cousins sit back and just torch this defense on Monday Night Football, and the defense couldn't get a stop on 3rd down. That's the defense fault, not Brock Purdy's fault, right? Brock Purdy, the only reason why people are even thinking that it's Brock Purdy's fault is because we started to put him in that elite conversation, all right, when I never did. I always knew he was elite within the Kyle Shanahan system. But some people wanted to say, oh, he's an MVP candidate. Oh, he's elite. Now that you see that the defense is not getting stops, there's more pressure on him. He doesn't have Deebo Samuel, doesn't have Trent Williams. Now it's starting to show that he's not an elite quarterback. All right, so I think that the fact that we started putting him in those conversations is why we're starting to point the finger at Brock Purdy, when I think that the finger needs to be pointed at the defense because the defense is not playing at that elite level that we expected them to be playing at this year. But now you add Chase Young, and Chase Young is going to get better. All right, I know we haven't seen, like I said, he's not a top 5 defensive player in the league. He's not a top 5 edge rusher, right? But I think he can get into those conversations because he's playing alongside Nick Bosa, who he played with in college. So I think this was a great move by the 49ers. They got better, period. Right, and I even forgot to mention, I did a video a couple of days ago, the Halloween video, when I talked about the trade on the day it happened. I didn't mention they had Randy Gregory, right? I was talking about Eric Armstead, Javon Hargrave, Nick Bosa, and him. But now they also have Randy Gregory, who they got from the Denver Broncos, with Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, who found the safety, Javarius Ford at corner. This defense is stacked, and if they continue to struggle, it has to be a Steve Wilks problem, which is the defensive coordinator, which I alluded to a couple minutes ago. But great move by the 49ers. I think the Eagles was kind of like a head above them when it came to Super Bowl favorites because of the QB play. But when you keep adding defensive firepower, you can slow down that QB play. So Jalen Hurts will have to have the game of his career in order to beat this team, in my opinion, because of how good this defense is. So this definitely gave them a bigger chance to go ahead and get that Super Bowl this year, which I think they do have a better chance now that they have Chase Young alongside Nick Bosa. All right. The next headline I want to talk about is Josh McDaniels. All right, Josh McDaniels, head coach for the Raiders, just got fired recently. Now, last year, if y'all remember, I did my pyramid, I did my predictions on the Super Bowl, and I picked the Raiders to be there. Okay, let me explain why. The year before, so 2 years ago, not last season, but the season before last, the Raiders went 10-7. Okay, that's the year that John Gruden got fired, and they put an interim head coach. I forget his name, but he came in there and took them to the playoffs. They lost. They barely lost to the Bengals, who was in the Super Bowl that year against the Rams. Okay, so the next year they went and they hired Josh McDaniels from the Patriots, and then they went ahead and they added Devontae Adams and they added Chandler Jones. So I'm thinking that, okay, Josh McDaniels is a good offensive mind. We've seen him in New England over the past however many years dominate, right? So I'm thinking that him with Derek Carr and Devontae Adams and Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow and Josh Jacobs in the backfield, I'm thinking this team is going to be good. This team is going to be really good. They're going to be able to outscore anybody. Then they added Chandler Jones, right, to go alongside Max Crosby. So they had a pass rushing duo. I'm thinking everything is all sunshine and rainbows in Vegas, right? But then when Josh McDaniels get there, they get worse. All right, last year they went like 6-11, I believe, and this year they was 3-5 before firing him. So it has to be his fault. You can't add a star receiver and add an edge rusher to a team that was 10-7 the year before, and then end up going 6-11. That has to be a coach's problem. It has to be, because you was the only thing that was you don't get worse by adding Devontae Adams. All right, so the team had to get better, but it was worse. And you called the offense. You were the offensive play caller. That's why I really was hyped whenever they went and hired him, because I was like, okay, you got a good offensive mind with a stacked offense. This team got to be great, but it wasn't. And then this year he was 3-5. Devontae Adams is frustrated because he's not getting the ball. It has a lot to do with Jimmy G. This is why this year I came out and said before the season started, I was like, Devontae Adams is going to have one of the worst years of his career, hands down, no questions asked, because Jimmy Garoppolo is not the answer. Devontae Adams needs an Aaron Rodgers, a Mahomes, a Matthew Stafford, a Joe Burrow, somebody that can air it out, right? Jimmy G is not known for airing the ball out. He's just not. So I knew Devontae was going to have a bad year, but it also has to do with scheme, right? Why are you not getting Devontae Adams? Why are you not emphasizing getting Devontae Adams the ball? So Josh McDaniels, I think, is living proof that good coordinators are not always meant to be head coaches. And I even question his offensive coordinator, his offensive play calling ability, because you had a stacked offense last year with playmakers at every position and you didn't succeed with them. But the year before that, he did do good with Mac Jones. So it's one of those situations where I think he just doesn't need to be a head coach. All right, maybe just stick to offensive play calling, just focus on that, because head coaching is not your thing. Like I said, 9-16 overall, and you took a 10-17 that was in the playoffs, and you dropped him down to 6-11 the next year. I think he just did a bad job in general with this Raiders organization, and I think they made the right move by getting rid of him. And I think he needs to be an offensive coordinator somewhere. The head coaching job is not for him. It's not for anybody. Not for everybody. All right, so that's that. I got nothing more to say. Josh McDaniels is out of there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm in this episode with my Thursday Night Football preview. Told y'all this episode will be very quick, very brief. I got a lot of things to get done today. Tonight, the Titans are visiting my Steelers in Pittsburgh. Who I got winning tonight? I got the Steelers. All right. And people looking at the screen right now like, duh, we know you got the Steelers. No, it's not even about me being a fan, man. It's this Steelers team. I'm going to tell you what we do. And you're going to see it tonight. The Steelers defense is going to make 5 plays. All right, 5 plays, whether it's a sack, a fumble, a interception, a safety, whatever it is, they're going to make 5 plays. If they don't, we're going to lose. If they don't make 5 plays, we're going to lose. If they make 5 plays, we're going to win. It's as simple as that. That's who the Steelers are this year because of the inefficiency on offense, because the offense struggles so much. If our defense does not make plays, we're going to lose. Like, hands down, no questions asked. Look at a couple weeks ago, we played the Texans. I was at that game. The defense made no play. We didn't get a sack that game. We didn't even get an interception that game or fumble. We did nothing that game, and we got rolled over. All right, same thing week 1. Well, week 1 was different. Week 1, it was more about we're going against a good San Francisco team, and our offense keep going 3-and-out, the defense can't hold up against them boys too long. So that's why that game got out of hand. But every other game that we have won has been because the defense made plays. All right, and then you look at last week against Jacksonville, the defense was making plays. We had 3 turnovers, but after we had 3 turnovers, we still had 3 points. All right, so the offense, yes, the offense was terrible last week. Kenny Pickett did not have a good game, and that's one thing I want to say real quick. Steeler Nation, please shut up. I'm tired of hearing fire Matt Canada. Yes, I agree he should be fired. But we can't say fire Matt Canada after every bad game. We can't do it because sometimes it's not him. I'm saying that right now. Sometimes it's Kenny Pickett. All right, Kenny Pickett looks uncomfortable at the quarterback position right now. He looks very timid. It's like I'm not comfortable watching him with the ball in his hands. I don't know what he's going to do with it. His passes are inaccurate. Last week he missed the open George Pickens. Right, he underthrew him. He's missing passes every single week. He's just giving his body up and accepting sacks. Sometimes the player's like 2 feet away, and he just curls up and takes the sack. And like I said, he's not seeing the field properly. It's not all Matt Canada, and that's why I said I don't know if I made this episode or not, because I made an episode a couple weeks ago and I didn't end up posting it because I got something happened. But I did say that until we fire Matt Canada, we will not see who Kenny Pickett really is. Because all we're going to do is blame Matt Canada from here on out. Until he's fired, he will get blamed. When over the past couple of weeks, he has not called a bad game. It's been Kenny Pickett playing bad at QB. It's simple as that. But still a nation, we're going to go ahead. We made a statement that we need to fire Matt Canada, and we're going to stick to it regardless. No matter what happens, we're going to stick to that. And I disagree. I think sometimes it's Matt Canada, but as of late, it's been Kenny Pickett. But I think that our defense helps us overcome that. And going tonight against Will Levis, who's getting his second game, right? But he didn't play defense like us. All right, we got T.J. Watt coming. We got Alex Highsmith coming. We got Cameron Hayward coming back off IR tonight. He's coming. Will Levis is going to be under the rest the whole entire game. If they get Derrick Henry going, they might win this game. If Derrick Henry has like 90-something yards, maybe 100 yards, then they might win this game. But Will Levis not going to do what he did last week against Atlanta to us. Even though we're missing Minka Fitzpatrick, I do think that our pass rush is too relentless. It's too much for a quarterback just come and just air it out on us the whole entire game. I don't see it happening. So I got the Steelers tonight winning. And it's going to be a tight ball game like it always is because we can't put up points. The defense is going to make 5 plays. All right, y'all count it tonight. I'm telling you, 5 plays that's going to help us win because that's just who the Steelers are this year. That's what I've been watching this year, and that's what, hey, it's a bad thing whenever I will come up here and literally say, I'm more excited to watch the defense than I am to watch the offense. You ask any other fan in the world what side of the ball they want to watch more, they're going to say the offense because the offense is the exciting side. It's the side that put up points. That's the side that makes big plays. Well, that's our defense. Our defense makes big plays. Our defense put up points. That's what our defense does. It gives our offense good field position. Our defense is our offense to an extent. All right, you're gonna see it tonight. All right, I can't stress it enough. This is why it's not fair for our defense. I feel like our defense has so much pressure on them every week. You got to make 5 plays to win the game. And we do it. We're capable of doing it because we have stars on the defense. But it's not fair that we have to get that from them every week or we're going to lose. I don't think that's fair. And this is why T.J. Watt, to me, is not only Defensive Player of the Year, but he's the MVP. Because if he doesn't make plays, we don't win. Like it's a lot on T.J. Watt's plate. And, of course, sometimes his play is just opening up one-on-one opportunities for Alex Highsmith and Cameron Hayward, right? Or just getting pressure on the QB, making them throw a ball that we can intercept. All right, so tonight, I think we're going to win this game for sure. Count it out. 5 plays from our defense is going to help us win. 5 good plays with a sack, interception, fumble. It's going to help us win this game, all right? But that is it for today. I told you I'm not going to be up here long. I got some things to do today. But I do want to make a quick announcement, all right? Your boy J Bess is an uncle. I'm an uncle now, all right? We had a gender reveal last week. That's why I didn't post the episode. A gender reveal last weekend, and it's a girl. So your boy J Bess about to have a niece, all right? So y'all just say a prayer for a safe delivery. All right, I think it's due in March, sometime in March. All right, but I can't wait to meet her, man. This might be one of the best things that has happened in my life for sure. Becoming an uncle, I think that's a big deal. That's me. My label has changed. I'm not just a brother, a son, a friend, a boyfriend anymore. Now I'm also an uncle, right? Which is crazy to me. All right, but much love. Y'all enjoyed tonight's game. I will do another episode tomorrow, heading into the weekend, and talk about some more things. But much love. Y'all stay blessed, stay safe. All right, I'm out.